FarmSim guy here. I hope you're all doing well. We are back with another studio tour. Now, for some reason you guys seem to like these, so I've done another one. I've done a lot of changes over the last little while. I think I've got the setup about as good as I've ever had it since I started doing YouTube and things like that. So I thought you'd like to see it, like to see the changes I've made, and see if there's anything in there that maybe you can put into your setups, or anything that you see that you think, maybe FSG, you could do it this way, which is slightly better. So let's jump in and have a look. So first of all, say hello to Doggo, who's happily sleeping under the radiator there. It is freezing cold here. If you look out the window, we've still got snow. So anyway, we digress. Here is the setup. So as you can see now, we've got two distinct spaces here, which is kind of nice. So here is the gaming setup. As you can see, steering wheels, joysticks, gamepads, everything that we need there, ready to go. Vertical monitor, that's a new addition as well. We're going to run through all of these bits in a little while as well. But over here, we've got a separate setup for editing, which has made things a lot easier. And actually, just here, now with me working from home, setting up my own business, I've got a MacBook Pro there, which is my work machine, but actually syncs into the monitors. So very handy from a compatibility perspective, and means that I can work in this space when I'm doing work as well and keeping things a little bit more separate, which is great. And of course, the Giants Awards, nice to see those, red, bronze and silver now as well. And we're heading our way to gold very, very quickly. If you haven't ordered the Season 2 pass yet and you want to, feel free to use FarmSim Guy as the code for that. But let's jump in to some of the fundamentals here now. So let's look at the computer first. Pretty much the same as it's been for a while now. Ryzen 7 3700 CPU in there. We've got 32 gig of Corsair RAM. That's got LEDs on it, of course, because that's what you've got to do. And we've got the Nvidia Founders Edition RTX 3070, which has been a great card and a nice upgrade from the 2080 actually. I have noticed a little bit of an increase in the render times. We've got PCIe SSD card in there for running the OS and the game and all my mods and things like that for speed, and I actually record to that as well when I'm capturing from OBS before copying it over to my RAID system, which we'll look at in a minute. I also have a couple of 4 terabyte storage drives there for things like all the graphics I need and things like that, so always nice to have those running off fast drives as well. But in general, the computer is the computer. It's probably the next big thing to look at upgrading, but for now it's doing everything I need it to. And actually when I do upgrade, I'm going to consider a 2 PC setup, a streaming PC and a gaming PC. Okay, just in front of the PC here, you will see this nice Rode arm for the mic. Really nice improvement this. My old one, I had a toner one, which was great while it lasted, but was getting a very creaky and squeaky at the end. So delighted to move this one. This is super smooth, silent motion as well, which is great. And then in front of that, we've got the Deity mic here, which was a fantastic investment. Again, I'll put links to all of these things in the description, and I'll list them on the screen so you get the actual model number and things like that. But I was super, super pleased when I picked this up, and it's been nothing but perfect since I got it. Of course, you've got the two little Lego figures on there, an ARGSY and an FSG one, which you'll see on all of my streams. Now, from my last setup tour, which I believe was way back at the start of this year, you may recognize this monitor as one of the two 24-inch monitors I was using at the time. Now, obviously, the orientation is different here. I was looking for a setup where I could really see my chat when I was doing streaming, and also check on my OBS and make sure everything was running smoothly whilst I was gaming. And this was probably the best setup that I could find. Unfortunately, to start with, I had my desks in an L-shape setup. I had one running along there, and this one was stuck out here. And we had my gaming rig in the corner, my sim racing rig in the corner there. As you can see, that's gone now. So what we've done here, and I shopped around and I waited for the time to be right for these, but I picked up these MSI 32-inch curved gaming monitors, and they are phenomenal. This is by a country mile the biggest upgrade and the best thing that I've purchased for my setup so far. And actually, price-wise, they weren't crazy. For 32-inch monitors, they are 4K, so I can run the game at 4K now, even though I'm downscaling when I record, because I don't see the benefit in running 4K on YouTube at the moment when it's so compressed anyway. But it's nice to play the game in 4K, it's nice to edit in 4K, and you really see the difference. Obviously down here, we still have our little Stream Deck, which has been there for a long time now, an old faithful, and I can switch through, if I can just go wide enough here, I can switch through my different screens there for when I'm streaming. There we go, there's the stream, hello, and then that's for my recording. So always nice to have the Stream Deck. It's a really handy tool, and you can scroll as well through different parts of it as well to get to different button sets. So really, really customizable and really, really helpful. We're still using the Steel Series keyboard, mechanical keyboard, really like it, does everything I need it to. I did notice the other day, for the first time in a long time actually, that I didn't have my num keys off to the right there, so I couldn't turn off my beacons without using Sim Dash, but very rarely that happens, so I can live without that. And speaking of Sim Dash, there is my tablet that I purchased for Sim Dash, not switched on at the moment, but still used very readily. And you're probably noticing as well the LS Set and Console and side panel that I picked up from the guys at LS Set and Console and at FarmCon in Germany in the summer. Still going strong, still loving it, much fun had with that. Really adds to the immersion, just the joy of turning the key on to turn your tractors on, always good fun. As for cameras now, I am using the Logitech StreamCam, which I picked up very recently actually. It's only a couple of weeks old, that, but I have to say I'm impressed with the quality that comes out of that. And next to the Logitech there, I've got the OBS Bot 4K webcam. That was actually an Indiegogo project that I invested in and picked up one of these in, and I have to say there's some really good features in that as well. I keep it as a second backup cam. I use it for my joystick cam, as you've seen before. A few ideas for how I'm going to use that going down the line, and I may switch between them depending on what I'm doing with them. But nice to have two cameras there as backups, which is really, really good. And then next to that, you can see we have got the LitraGlow, which is a Logitech light, which helps me when I'm streaming. Now, I've actually got that set up. If I look down here, I can click my mouse, and you can see that it switches it on. And again, I've got another button on my mouse to switch it off. So I've got control over that during the stream. You can adjust the temperature of those as well and the brightness, which is really, really good. So it's a handy little thing to have. I'm very conscious that my lighting on my streams is probably something I need to do a little bit more work on. But for now, it does the job. And just coming down here, there is my headset, the Ryzen Nari Ultimate wireless headset, still using that, and it is very, very good. Just behind the headphones there as well, you can see that is my Synology NAS RAID setup. That's 16 terabyte stripe, so I've got 8 terabytes available to me of storage, all backed up, so that if anything ever goes horribly wrong, I can retrieve it. Now, I'm going to shamefully show you the back down here, because I set this up just the other day and I haven't done anything about cable management there. But now I've basically got a box in there which holds my switch and my LAN cables that come from my internet connection and from my NAS that meet in there and distribute themselves out. I've also got a powered 16 USB 3 hub in there. I run so many peripheries on the computer that you really need to have a pretty substantial powered hub. So I did have a 10-port one, but very quickly updated that to a 16-port as things evolved further. Now, let's have a quick sit down here. I'm going to sit down in the GT Omega chair, which has been here for a while and is old faithful. Right, there is the editing setup. That is a version of Hannah, Indiana for this week being edited there on screen. In terms of things we've got here, we have got Logitech G502 Lightspeed mouse, which is the wireless version of the wired one, which actually I didn't show you over here. I use for gaming, which is fantastic. So I bought the wireless version here purely because this is a bit of a dual-use desk now, so at least I can just drop it onto its charge point there and it stays out of the way, away from things when I'm working, doing my day job, and I don't have wires and stuff dragging all over the tabletop. Got Daisy there, another purchase from FarmCon. Very handy little screen cleaner that, and trust me, when you live in an old house like I do, the dust gets everywhere. The other thing, which is a new purchase, which I am loving at the moment, is the loop deck here. So this is what I use for editing. You can customize this completely. It's really sped up my workflow for working in Premiere Pro, all set to how I like it, and you can change different settings and things. Well, I'm keen to try this out with OBS as well. Haven't done it yet because you've got volume control over all of your channels, so keen to try that again in the future as well. And the other thing that I've purchased recently is this editor's keys keyboard, and basically what this has got is customized keys for all of the settings in Premiere Pro as well. So as you can see there, all of the key commands and the keybinds for Premiere Pro are embedded on the keyboard there, so it makes life a lot easier when you're looking for things as well, which is very, very good. Also up here as well is the BenQ monitor light, which I did the video on a few months ago now, kindly donated by them, and is still wonderful, and I use it all of the time. It's really, really helpful, especially in these dark winter months. I've got the old webcam there as well, the C902 Logitech webcam, which has now turned into a work webcam, which is plugged into the Mac over here. And again, there is the new M1 MacBook Pro that I use for my work. Excuse the shadows, like I said, lighting is not my forte, but the new M1 MacBook Pro, which has been phenomenal. I have to say, the speed of it is ridiculous. And of course, not that we have forgotten, but I have got my standing desk, which I have to say, when I'm doing the hours that I do at my desk, having that as an option to stand up for a little while and stretch the legs is huge. I don't do enough exercise as it stands, so having that as an option just to change things up a bit and not turn me into a complete and utter crumpled up mess is a big bonus. So nice to have that. Let's set that back down to its usual position. But there you go. That is the current setup. I tend to roll between the two places pretty comfortably, pretty easily. Oh, I didn't touch on the Thrustmaster joysticks as well. As you can see there, we've got a couple of mounts, and again, I will put the links to the mounts that I'm using here. I know a lot of people have asked already for those, but they are great, and it's nice to have them in a permanent position. I've had those for about a year now, and I've had to lift them off the desk, plug them in when I want to use them, and it was very frustrating and probably stopped me using them as much as I did. But now to have them set up permanently is great. And then, of course, the G920 steering wheel and pedals, which are the same as before. Do I still love them? No, I don't think I've ever loved them, really. They're a necessary evil. I'm desperate to find a wheel that works better for me. It just doesn't... I have no genuine, solid reason why I don't like it. It just doesn't... It just jars with me, let's just say that. I much preferred, actually, the original heavy equipment bundle from Logitech, even though the build quality was a lot poor. The angle of the wheel, so the angle of the wheel was a lot more shallow, felt a lot more like a tractor. This just doesn't feel natural for me. But the pedals are 100,000 times better than the heavy equipment bundle. Just unfortunately, you can't use those pedals with a different steering wheel. You have to plug them into the back of the wheel. So there we are. We live with it until another option comes along. So there you go. There is the current setup. I have to say, I think this is as good as I've ever had it. It's working really well for me. Yeah, I can see me keeping it like this for quite a long time now. Now, some of you will be saying, where's the sim racing rig, FSG? You can't have got rid of that. And I haven't. At the moment, it's just resting here. It does need to go to a new home. It is all set up still. Obviously, I've taken the monitor off it for now. It's just up there, the AOC, with my coffee cup, with the AOC 34-inch wide, super wide monitor that I bought for that, which is a great monitor as well. That is still sitting, waiting to be set up somewhere else. I now can run this. I've got a gaming laptop. I've got an MSI gaming laptop with a Ryzen 9 processor in it and a 2080 card, and it runs iRacing fantastically well, actually, for a laptop. So it's actually a self-contained unit now, so I can move this anywhere else in the house, which Mrs. FSG's clearly utterly delighted about, as you can imagine. But yeah, there just isn't enough space in this room with the setup that I want, and as I spend so much time on FarmSim, this is the thing that needs to work for me the most, right? So there you go. That's the setup. I have to say, when I started out doing YouTube and things like that, I used to drool over other people's setups. I still am a total tech nerd. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to stuff like this. So when I look at this now, I'm so proud and chuffed that 2 years down the line, I've been able to build this with the funds that I've been able to generate off YouTube. And thank you to all you guys who watch my my stuff, because without you, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much, and let me know what you think in the comments below. So there you go, folks, current setup. Hope you liked it. Any questions you have or anything else you'd like to know that I've maybe missed, please drop a question in the comments below. Don't forget to like the vid as well, that always helps the channel, and hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Take care, bye for now.